What up, y'all? Kreyz McKormik here, and I guess this is something that quite a few people have actually been talking about, at least people in my circle. The homie One Man Kru made a video of himself hanging out in Farmington Hills, Michigan, and he was calling out Violent J. And so I know that this isn't necessarily a music video reaction or anything like that, but this is Juggalo related, and I figured I might as well react to it because I know that there are quite a few people that are talking about it, at least in my circle. So I decided, fuck it, I might as well do the damn thing. Now, before I get ahead of myself, for one, I've already watched this. So there is going to be some commentary that is going to be coming up ahead. And secondly, I have no. Where's my fucking vape? Okay. Secondly, no hate towards One Man Kru. Uh, I see on his YouTube channel that he has a pretty good career in music, both as a rapper and a producer. He also does professional wrestling, so these are two things that I like. Uh, but and and I've actually seen him on one of my homies' podcasts back when it was Bartle Boss and the Dead Guy, which is now Spread the Dead Show, and One Man Kru seems like a pretty solid dude. I believe I might have interacted with him in the past, so it is befuddling that I would see this fucking video. So I'm just going to go ahead and let it play. Its video is called Violent J Gets Punked Out by One Man Kru. Very clickbaity title, but we're going to get ahead into this.
I'm at the corner. I'm at the corner of Power Road and 10 Mile Road in Farmington Hills, Michigan.
Farmington. I know, different one, but I had to throw that joke out there. So he's at a street corner in the Farmington Hills area.
And the reason I'm out here is it's about 5 minutes till noon on Sunday, January 22nd. I challenged Joe Bruce, Violent J, to a fight. I sent him an email. I let him know I was going to be here.
Okay.
Because that motherfucker said he wanted to beat my ass. So I'm going to give him the opportunity while I'm in town, while I'm in Detroit. I wrestled Mr. USA Tony Atlas last night. I'm here in town. This guy had a day and a half notice that I'm going to be here. And here it is, noon that day. I'm a man of my word. I showed up. I don't know if this motherfucker's going to show up, but I'm here.
Okay, so I'll have to admit something to this. I don't know fully the historical details between Violent J and One Man Kru. I don't know if there's proof of whether or not Violent J said such things. I wouldn't put it past him. But then again, like I said, there's no proof of it. So just to recap, he sent an email to Violent J saying, I'm going to be here on this day, blah, blah, blah. Now, anybody who has ever signed or sent an email to anybody at Psychopathic, they probably have a flood of different emails. I know that it took quite some time when I sent an email to Jumpsteady. It took months for Jumpsteady to respond. And Jumpsteady didn't respond really via email. he actually gave me a phone call to discuss details for my event at DCG Con. There have been other times where I have emailed Rob to do other things or to ask questions, and it would take weeks for him to respond. So a 36-hour notice for an email to Joe Bruce, yeah, you probably should have given him a little bit more extra leeway, but that's just me.
Because I don't put up with no bullshit. You say you're gonna beat my ass, motherfucker. You need to be a man and fucking show that you're a man of your word and that you mean what you say and you say what you mean, like I say what I mean and I do what I say I'm gonna fucking do.
Okay, so uh, I will say that there's one thing I remember, um, is that Violent J has actually talked about beating motherfuckers' asses before. However, he doesn't necessarily go out of his way to try to look for motherfuckers to beat their ass. It's basically like if I just so happen to come across this motherfucker, I will fucking beat his ass. That's kind of like how Violent J has done it. Violent J has talked about the same thing with his dad, Lester Wool. There was like some other dude that he beat the shit out of at the fucking shelter because like the dude was talking shit about wanting to beat Violent J's ass. He doesn't go out of his way to try to look for people that he says that he's going to beat their ass. So basically, it's like you have to cross paths with him, and then the shit will go down. It's not necessarily a 36-hour notice via email that you're going to be in the same state and all of that shit. So basically, One Man Kru, he said that he did a show with, he did a show and he wrestled against Tony Atlas, uh, which the video is on his YouTube channel, and he wrestled Tony Atlas in Battle Creek, Michigan. Battle Creek, Michigan is about a 3-hour drive away from the Detroit area, which is where Farmington Hills is, like just on the outside of Detroit. So, One Man Kru drove 3 hours out of his way to beat Violent J's ass, expecting him to respond to an email with a 36-hour notice when they don't necessarily respond to emails within 36 hours. You see where I'm getting in this? You see where I'm getting with this? Like, at this point in time, One Man Kru, you should have thought this over. I understand if you're enraged over what. We'll find out. Um, Other than the fact that, Violent J said such and such. But, like, I understand you're angry, but you got to think logically about this. Like, you got to think logically with this type of shit. If this is what you're going to do, you have to think more logically.
If I say I'm coming at you, I'm coming at you.
Okay.
If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. That's
And
why I got beef with this motherfucker, because he broke our deal. He's making money off my music to this day.
wait,
And
what?
got the nerve to treat me like a fucking jabroni.
As a wrestling fan, I love that word. But okay, so on his on his page, on his YouTube page, some of the key words on there are Insane Clown Posse, producer. He also has a video, like the highlighted video that he has is of Redman listening to one of his tracks. And I think somewhere in the description, he explains that he had produced the beat to Bewitched, which is off of Yum Yum's Lure.
And talk to me like I'm a fucking dog. when I've been nothing but nice to this cocksucker. I've been nothing but friendly and cool and hospitable to whatever he needed back when I produced music for him.
Okay.
But here we are. It's already noon. He ain't fucking here. He was never gonna show because he's a fucking coward.
I mean, take a look at that area, okay? Like, we've seen how many cars drive past that. Like, logically speaking, it would make no sense to meet up at a street corner in the suburbs to do the, especially especially in weather like that. Now, granted, yes, you can't really predict the weather, but like, it is January in Michigan and it is pretty chilly. It's going to be chilly even if there wasn't snow around the motherfucker. Um but like, on the real though, like, it literally feels like, as of right now, it's either, like, I think it's either One Man Kru jumped the gun, or this is not a shoot. And he's speaking wrestling terms, so I'm going to speak wrestling terms as well. This seems more like a promo than a shoot. I'm being honest here.
Joe Bruce, aka Violent J, he lives right over in them fucking neighborhoods over there. Right in them Richie fucking Farmington Hills suburb neighborhoods. Right back in there, he lives there. He lives right there. He could walk his ass down here.
Okay.
He could walk his big four-headed ass down here right now and get these motherfucking soup bones upside the fucking melon.
Okay, I've never heard the phrase soup bones, but that sounds pretty fucking dope. For one, from I mean, like, this is what he gathered is where Jay fucking lives. Apparently, is in that general area. Um, I mean, I've heard different. I heard he lives in Milford, which is like farther the fuck away from Detroit. More secluded, more away from the city, and not to mention, like I said, you see how much traffic is going on over there. Do you really think that if Violent J wanted to fucking fight you, he would be willing to do that in front of such a fucking scene, in front of all of those people, and get the cops called on both of you? Like, this motherfucker is in his 50s now. He ain't in his 20s no more. It ain't like he can fucking get into a fight at a Waffle House with a bunch of fucking rednecks, beat the fuck out of them, have Misery pour hot coffee on the motherfucker, and everybody gets fucking arrested and then he has to wear like a fucking uh jumpsuit that's like 5 sizes too fucking small. Okay, like, we don't. He's not going to fucking do that, and you should have known that he was not going to fucking do that.
But he ain't coming.
Of course, he's not
He never
coming.
was coming because he's a fucking bitch.
No, I would say he's not a bitch over that shit. It's more intelligent. Like, he's not thinking out of anger with any of this, assuming he actually fucking looked at the email.
This is personal.
Okay.
Like, all the juggalos, all the 17%ers, all you guys, listen, I'm a fan of Insane Clown Posse. I was growing up.
Okay.
But this guy preys upon the fandom. He preys upon people being a mark for him and his shit. And he will use you, abuse you, chew you up, and spit you out and kick you to the curb like a fucking piece of trash.
You just described about 90% of the juggalos that are trying to fucking get into the game, or are trying to do a vast majority of other things. Like, there are a lot of people that are in this community that do the exact same thing. And I'm not saying that you're one of them. Don't get it twisted. But here's the thing though. You're not the only one who has had issues specifically with Violent J. Okay, and the strange thing is, like, why is it? And I have to ask this: why the fuck is it that out of everybody that works at Psychopathic Records, the one person that everybody seems to have a problem with, no matter what's going on in his life, is Joe Bruce? No matter what. I've never heard anybody say anything negative about Shaggy. I've never heard anybody say anything negative about Billy Bill. The only other person that I have ever heard anybody say anything negative out of was Dougie. Other than that, it's always Violent J. It's always Joe Bruce. And why that is, I don't understand. You act like, despite the fact that there are 5 people in Psychopathic Records that have to have some sort of either a unanimous decision on anything that goes on, or or a majority rule. I don't exactly know how the fucking Dons do their shit. But everybody that has a fucking axe to grind with Psychopathic Records, it's never Rob, it's never Billy, it's never Shaggy, it's never Rudy, it's never anybody else except Joe Bruce. It's always Joe Bruce. Do you not tend to think that it might be that it's not necessarily Joe's call all the fucking time? Because there are other people who work at Psychopathic Records. I don't know if you know this. I mean, like, you know what? Fuck it. Okay. You know what? I'm lying. I'm making it up completely. Joe Bruce does everything. Okay. Mikey Clark was just a fucking name. Okay. Just like Dr. Punch, Mikey Clark is just a fucking name. For the last 30 some years, it was Joe Bruce who made all the fucking beats. Okay, he mixed and mastered them himself. Shaggy's not actually rapping on the fucking lyrics, it's Jay doing fucking voiceover. Okay, Jay, you know, all of the fucking jerseys, like the ones that we made, this wasn't made by Dankalo Art, it was drawn by Violent J, and Violent J stitched it himself. Actually, you know what? He picked the fucking cotton in order to fucking make not only the jersey, but also the fucking strings on it. Okay? He sewed them all together by himself. Okay? It's all Violent J. Joe Bruce does everything, okay? Joe Bruce does everything in and of Psychopathic Records, okay? It's not Fontana or In Grooves that fucking does the shit. Those are all owned by Violent J, and he does all the shit by himself, okay? Joe Bruce taught himself how to pro wrestle, and he taught Shaggy how to fucking pro wrestle. Actually, you know what? I'll be honest with you. Shaggy's just getting a paycheck just by sitting there. He is a face in Insane Clown Posse. Insane Clown Posse is just Joe Bruce. As a matter of fact, Shaggy Two Dope's solo albums are not Shaggy Two Dope's. They're Violent J. Okay? Violent J, Detroit's Southwest lover. Violent J does everything by himself. So if you have any fucking problems whatsoever with anything involving Psychopathic, that has to be the reason why it's always Violent J. Because Violent J does everything. Violent J is the fucking CEO, not just the founder, but he is also the CEO, one of the other fucking Don Megas. He is the CFO. He is the chief branding officer. Okay, he does all of the fucking drawing by himself. He does all the fucking all the mixing, the mastering, the beats and stuff like that. Everything that he does, that's all him. Okay, everything that it takes to build a fucking Juggalo dynasty is all Joe Bruce. Everybody else is just faces. You see how fucking ridiculous all of that is? Okay, so like everybody that tries to fucking say, oh, I mean, this motherfucker's got a problem with Joe Bruce. Okay? Form a fucking line, okay? You're gonna be like 2-3 steps behind Sasha Grey. Okay. You're gonna be a couple of steps you're gonna be a step and a half behind fucking Sugar Slam. You're gonna be a step and a half behind Kid Rock and Eminem. All right. It's always Joe. Why is it always Joe? Because this is the man who created the fucking Juggalo world. All right. This was all of this is created based off of the fucking soul mind of Joe Bruce. But he had a lot of people that backed him up. Do you really think that it's just Joe Bruce that created all of these problems? That is an asinine thought.
And that's what he did. I'm the dopest producer this motherfucker ever had on his fucking roster.
Debatable. But in One Man Kru's defense, I will say this. That is a mindset that everybody has in the rap game. Everybody is the best rapper. Everybody is the best producer. Everybody is the best at this, that, and the other when it includes the rap game. But the reality is this. It's subjective. I hate to break it to you. I mean, I remember my first fucking show. I was under the wing of a guy named Tragedy. This motherfucker asked me how I thought I did on my set. And I said that I was full of confidence when I first jumped on the shit. But then as I started to fucking look around and I started noticing that nobody was feeling my shit and I'm dressed as ridiculous as I was. And then within the first or second song, the guys who opened up for me fucking jumped on the stage and fucking bum rushed me. And then they just left. And it completely fucking shattered my confidence. So I was nervous the rest of the fucking show. And it just made things worse. And I told him that. And the guy ended up telling me that in the rap game, you have to believe that you are the shit and that you are better than everyone else. You have to believe that you're better than the motherfucker that's on stage closing out the show. And I said, I don't think that I can fucking do something like that because there's a lot of dope rappers here and I feel like I should give them their due justice. Like, I opened up the fucking show for Too Dirty. God, I miss that dude. I wonder what happened to him. Probably chilling in Flint still. But yeah, the mindset of I'm the best producer that Violent J and Insane Clown Posse ever had, that's subjective because you have so many other fucking people that have made beats for Insane Clown Posse over the years. Whether it be you, One Man Kru, or fucking Kuma, Mike P, Mikey Clark, Devereaux, Shaggy the Airhead. It's all subjective. Everybody has a favorite producer. So to say that, I mean, yeah, it's a confidence build, but the reality is that it might not be true to everyone else.
And he act like I ain't shit. So what's that tell you?
What that tells me is that it might not be the product that you produced, but it could also have something to do with the attitude that you put forth behind it. And I'm not saying that you're a bad person. What I'm saying, though, is that there are people that I know are dope rappers that I don't fuck with. I don't get twisted with that. See what I'm saying? As dope as fucking artists, as dope a fucking artists Twisted are, I don't fuck with them anymore because I feel like that a lot of the stuff that they did made them shit people. So I don't care what they do. And that might be the same thing. That, like, this bad blood between you and Joe Bruce specifically, you know? You could be the dopest fucking rapper alive. That does not necessarily mean that he has to fuck with you just because of that factor. And I think you know that.
The one song that I produce, was it debuted #1 on iTunes hip hop charts for the EP Yum Yum's Lure. The one they did before that, it didn't debut #1. The one they did after that, it didn't debut #1. And I'm not saying that's because of me. I'm just saying that the one thing I did for him was a #1 hit record, and I got $0, 0 cents, 0 respect for any of it.
Okay, so this makes no sense to me. Why did you just give your beat away? You get paid up front, then you give them the beat. I work with people who are graphics artists, okay, that are going to be fucking making merchandise for me. If they give me the shit first, it's free. If they, if they want the money first, then I'll give them the money before they release the masters of the art to me. Don't you think that it would be the same thing in music or anything involving that? It's like the same thing as going to the fucking grocery store, okay? You go to Meijer's, you fucking buy some eggs, you give them a $20 bill, because apparently eggs are expensive as fuck nowadays, and then you can leave the fucking store with the carton of eggs. Otherwise, it's stealing. It's the same thing with anything else that's purchasable, supply and demand. Money in exchange for foods and goods and services. So you should have gotten the money first, then produced then fucking released the track and gave them the master for it. But it sounds to me like you didn't do that. It sounds to me like you gave them the fucking beat. You jumped the gun. And most likely they thought that it was free. That's what it sounds like to me.
This motherfucker is not a man of his word. He's a punk, bitch, motherfucker. And I'm here. I'm here to fucking beat this motherfucker down if he shows up. That's for goddamn sure.
He's not going to show up.
So I'm going to put this camera down, and I'm going to stand right here on the corner where I said I was going to be. I'm dressed to fight. I got my fucking gym shorts on and a hoodie on, and I'm dressed and I'm ready to go for whatever's coming. And he can bring his homies. I don't care.
The only thing that he didn't get dressed for was the cold.
I'll fight all of them. I don't give a fuck.
Okay. Adidas. You can tell that's pretty wet snow. So basically, it sounds to me like, this video that he did, I gotta say it's very good quality. It looks very good. Like, this is like that 4K boy. But yeah, he basically just, oh man, he rolled up the sleeves. Dude, it's cold outside. Dude, you're gonna catch your death of cold. I gotta ask, what shoes are those? Are those also Adidas or are they Skechers? Okay, so he fucking paces back and forth. So from where it's at, 6 minutes.
It's past fucking noon and this cocksucker ain't here.
Maybe he didn't get the email. You know, what was this, a day ago? This was Sunday, you know. Maybe he's chilling with his son. You know, his son does skiing and shit. You know, so, like, you know, he might be spending time with his family.
Astronomic Dr. Chronic featuring Tommy Chong, Twisted, Blaze Your Dead Homie, Anybody Killer, the ROC, Boondocks, Mars, the original Dark Lotus, the Joker, and more. The real Joker card, the Smoker's card, the Astronomic Dr. Chronic comes out 420. Make sure to get it. It's the Keepers of the Crypt.
Oh man.
First album, first studio album in 15 years.
So yeah,
We're gonna do it doper than fucking Violent J ever even thought of fucking doing it.
I mean, I will admit that there are some albums that Violent J has put out, or Insane Clown Posse has put out specifically, and it just sounds like it's been rushed and shit, or it's like one of those things where you just don't understand it at the beginning and you gotta let it grow on it. But take a listen to that fucking plug for that type of shit. It's like, this man was already beefing with Violent J at this point when he decided to have all of those people from Magic Ninja Entertainment and then also adding Mars and the Joker into this shit. Like, this sounds like some vendetta type stuff. Like, if anything, I would have to say, like, all of these people, like the Joker has had a problem with Violent J. Mars had a problem with Violent J, which I think Mars has actually gotten over that by now. And everybody at Magic Ninja Entertainment that he fucking mentioned, it's like, this dude is being petty at this point, you know? Like, he has it in his head and he believes that he's going to do something that's doper than Violent J, which could be true. I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out on 420 whether or not what he said is correct. But a lot of this stuff right here, it's like, I'm sorry, dude, but like, this just feels like a lot of fucking showboating for nothing. Except for maybe that plug. He's still pacing back and forth. Dude, you're gonna get sick. It's like, I can't believe you drove 3 hours for this. It's like, oh god. Okay. Let me fast forward. Still waiting. He's getting closer to the camera, so I'm wondering if he's going to say something else. Nope. He's still pacing. Still pacing. Oh my Jesus fuck. Okay, so it's been 3 minutes at this point.
I told you this motherfucker ain't showing up.
Well, yeah.
I got a lot of people looking at me like I'm a fucking idiot or something standing here.
I mean, yeah. Big beefy dude hanging out in a fucking street corner, pacing back and forth with his fucking fists balled up. In this weather, wearing fucking shorts. Yeah. They don't know the context behind why you're there, or why you're not even trying to cross the street. Like, bro. Like, honestly, you didn't think this one through. And not to mention via email. Like, I cannot stress this enough. Via email, you sent a fucking challenge to this motherfucker. Like, could have left him a voicemail and recorded it, and then posted that. And, like, the only receipts that you have at this point are just based off of what you said about everything that was going on. The longer I watch this, the more ridiculous it's looking. And he's still pacing. He's still pacing. It's been 5 minutes.
No, I'm just waiting. This motherfucker named Violent J from Insane Clown Posse, he lives right over there. He owes me money. I challenge him to fight me right here on the corner of Power and 10 Mile Road. So I'm just waiting on his dumb ass. If he don't show up, then the world's gonna know he's a bitch because I got it on video, right?
Oh my God.
I'm good, thank you.
God bless you. Like, you just cussed these people out and you said God bless you. Oh my God.
Bitch made. Told you he ain't coming. This
Yeah.
motherfucker is
Yeah.
a punk, bitch made piece of shit. And he don't want none of One Man Kru. Or Anthony Sanders, my real name for that matter.
Okay.
Because he knows he will get stretched like a prostitute's vagina.
Bro. He's still pacing.
Here comes another Cadillac. That might be him.
Oh my God. Wait, what?
I think that was him.
At this point, dude, like, you've stirred yourself up into this frenzy. Okay? And it's like, really? Like, you went through all of this and, like, you should have expected that more often than not that everything that you fucking did was kind of pointless. And I'm just looking at this shit like, bro, you really didn't think this through, did you? I mean, yeah, I'm sure that you were upset, and you probably still are, but to hold on to this type of stuff. Now, like, I don't know where exactly it's at. Like, yeah, street corner, street corner, street corner, and he finally decides at this point to fucking walk away and deal with it. And just bite it.
He ain't fucking coming.
Well, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was him driving by just to scope me out.
So we're at the 18.5-minute mark.
He ain't fucking coming. He don't want none.
Well, no. Like I said before, you know, like, he's not going to do that. It's going to be a situation where it's if you both just so happen to be in the same area at the same time. If he needed to walk down the fucking road to go get a carton of milk or something like that at the fucking store, and it was like right down the road, and he saw you, then yeah, I'm sure he probably would have thrown down at that point. Win or lose, blah, blah, blah. But, like, you emailed him a fucking challenge, and he probably didn't even see it. And you're standing out in the middle of a fucking street corner in the dead of winter on a fucking Sunday afternoon when he's probably doing something else. So, and on top of that, you drove 3 hours out of your way to go fucking meet up with a dude who had a 36 hour advance notice via email that he barely fucking ever responds to. Like, really? I'm sorry, bro, but you kind of just wasted your time.
I'm pretty sure I seen his big four-headed ass driving by in that big Cadillac.
I mean, when you have laser focus, everybody's going to look like they have a big forehead. Everybody's going to look like Joe Bruce to you.
Just scope me out, see if I'm fucking actually going to be here. And I was. And I did. And here it is. Well, I don't know how long past 12 o'clock, maybe 15 after, maybe 20 after, I don't know. But I told this motherfucker I was going to be here. I told him if he was a man, he'll meet me here. I gave him a day and a half advance to come and see me. Mm-hmm. I let him know I'm coming to see him.
Via email.
And this beef is a very deeply personal thing.
Okay.
I was taught if somebody disrespects you, if they use you and abuse you, if they owe you money and they don't pay you, which I feel this man owes me money. He owes me royalties.
Okay, so royalties over the fucking track that you handed over before you had the fucking money in your hand is basically what you're saying. I mean, that sounds like a fucking bad purchase, bro. Like, I understand that as a fan of Insane Clown Posse, that you would be more than happy to have music that you produced on a track, on an album. I understand that. But as a businessman, you did not think this through and you practically fucking gave away the master to the track.
From the Bewitching song, I never got paid one dime from none of that. And I never cared about the money.
Then then what is this all about? If you never cared about the money, then what the fuck is this all about? That bro, you just made even less sense of all of this just by saying that. I wasted almost 20 minutes watching this shit. At this given point in time, you bitched about the fact that you didn't get paid for the beat that you made for that album, and then turned right around and said, I don't care about the money. Do you have any idea how contradicting that sounds? That sounds very contradicting. It's basically the same thing as fucking saying that you're a fan of Insane Clown Posse, but fuck Joe Bruce.
It was never about the money. I just wanted to be a part of the team.
Okay, well, you became part of the fucking team and you didn't get paid, and now you're fucking bitching about not getting paid. How ridiculous is that? And then it's so fucking boiled over that you want to fight Joe Bruce to a point where you have to send him an email 36 hours ahead of time to meet him at a fucking street corner of an area in which you think he fucking lives. Which, from what I hear, he doesn't live in Farmington Hills. He lives in fucking Milford, from what I hear. So, and that's even farther the fuck away. So, you fucked up.
Just want to be a part of the family.
Okay.
Well, I got news for you, all you juggalos, that's all bullshit. He looks at y'all like a bunch of marks. He looks at us all like marks. We're just marks where it means to an end. We just keep his fucking power turned on. We just line him and his homies' pockets. That's it. That's
Well, I mean, they are a business, so that kind of makes sense.
all we are to this motherfucker.
Yeah. We are consumers of their product. In other news, water is wet.
Mikey Clark made this man a millionaire. And Mikey Clark ain't even been fairly compensated for none of it.
Now it just feels like jabs.
I tried to get him. He wouldn't come. I got half of mine just to keep standing out here and waiting for his ass, just so he'll know I mean business. In case he drives back, he'll know I mean business. You know what I'm saying?
If he's over there.
So I don't want to walk away because I don't want to look like a bitch, but it's getting cold as fuck out here.
Now, I don't think you look like a bitch. I just think you look kind of dumb doing this.
But this is a fight. If you're watching this, Joe, Violent J, if you're watching this, you're looking at a motherfucker that you can't beat. You cannot beat me in a fight. You cannot beat me on the mic. You cannot beat me making beats, wrestling, acting. Anything you do, I can do it, and I can do it way better.
I mean, that, like I said, is the fucking mentality in the game. You are the best at everything over everybody else.
And that's why I'm a threat to you. That's probably why you had a bad feeling about me, because I never needed you.
Okay? Bro. Okay, let's step back into fucking reality, okay? Like I said before, all of that shit is subjective. Okay? That's the reality. Okay? You might feel that way about yourself, but the reality is that there's a lot of other people who, if they know who the fuck you are, think otherwise. Okay? And to basically call out the fucking Juggalo community and try to say that, dude, we've heard that 1,000 fucking times. Okay? We all have. Yeah, we're a means to an end. They just want us to buy their shit. Of course they fucking do. Psychopathic Records is a business. Okay? It is a business. And they sell dope shit. That's why we buy it. That's usually how it works. They come up with dope fucking concepts, whether it be albums or designs or fucking covers or fan art or whatever the fuck, and they put it on their merchandise and they put it on the shelves. And then they fucking advertise for it and we think it's dope, so we buy it. Okay? Like, this is not an uncommon conception, okay? This is not a common misconception. This is not an uncommon thing. Anybody who does anything that has merchandise wants to sell fresh shit. That's not that fucking much of a problem. And all of this stuff, you literally contradicted yourself. You said that all of this stemmed from you not getting money for the beat that fucking you made for Yum Yum's Lure. And yet this and then and you sold it improperly. And then you got fucking buggy about it because this motherfucking song hit #1 on iTunes at some point, and because you were the producer and you never asked for fucking money, or I'm sure you did and you never got paid, but you sold it improperly because you didn't get the money before you got the beat. It sounds to me like instead of doing this type of stuff, look, I'll put it to you this way. How you were raised is very much different than how I was raised, okay? If somebody if basically it's like this for me, okay? I will give respect right off the fucking bat, and I expect respect in return. Okay? If I don't get respect, well, I'm supposed to not show respect back at that point. Okay? However, I am a very empathetic motherfucker, and I am a very nice guy, and I give people multiple fucking chances. More chances than they should get. But eventually it gets to a point where their chances run out, and instead of trying to get into a fight with these people, I just don't fuck with them anymore. Simple as that. And I try not to be dramatic about it. I try not to fucking do anything that's going to bring attention to the shit. I just move on. It hurts, but it's the simplest fucking way possible. Therefore, no wasted energy is fucking given to that opposition. This is something, this is something that I've learned over a long period of time. I used to be a hothead when I was younger, and I've grown up and learned that it's not really worth my time to try to get angry over such stuff, over such stupid shit. And the way that you're coming off at this, it's very disappointing. It really is. Now, I'm pretty sure that you're going to be angry with me because I don't see it the way that you do. But the way I see it, this is the way that it makes the most amount of sense to me. Okay? All of this fucking stemmed over a beat that you made for Insane Clown Posse's Yum Yum Lure album. Okay? And you never got paid for it. and you got mad that it fucking hit #1 and you didn't get paid for it. However, at the same time, you said that it was never about the money. Well, if it wasn't about the fucking money and it was all about being part of the Juggalo family, then what the fuck are you bitching about? That's the part that makes no sense. And it makes perfect sense that with the way that you acted, that there are people on the internet that are going to fucking meme you. There are going to be people on the internet that see this shit and they're going to fucking laugh at you. They're going to make fun of you now because of this type of shit. And the way that you disrespected the fucking Juggalo community doing this type of stuff, I won't be surprised if it makes it a little bit more difficult for you to get into this kind of work in the future. I will not be surprised. And I'm not saying this to upset you. I'm not saying this to fucking diss you. Because there is no dissing involved. This is just a stark reality of the world that we live in. Okay? Your attitude is going to make it difficult for you to work in the future. So, the way that I look at it, it's like you really have absolutely nothing to fucking be upset about. If you did this beat for free because you just wanted to be a part of the fucking family, then you have no reason to be upset about not getting paid. If you are upset about the fact that you didn't get paid for the beat that you gave to Insane Clown Posse, then you are not a smart businessman in the sense that you should have gotten paid, then released the fucking beat. Simple as that.
I tried to do right by you. I tried to make things right with you. I tried to give you the opportunity to make things right with me. I waited over a year. I did not say anything bad about you publicly for a year. Over a year. Not because I was afraid Juggalos would turn on me. I don't care about that. Because I know they're your fan base. What this is about is principle. It's about respect. It's about the fact that I gave you my labor 40 plus hours a week for a year making beats for you.
Okay.
Not only did you not pay me anything for any of those beats
that you gave away for free. Let's keep that in check because you did it for the fucking family. Remember how you said that? And the money doesn't matter.
but you didn't even listen to most of them. You didn't even have the decency and honor and respect to listen to all the beats and find out that they're dope.
Or maybe he did and he cherry picked that one. So why can't you be grateful about the fact that he picked one? Okay, it would have been a little bit more of a diss to you if you put in all of that time and all of that effort and he did not select even a single one of them. But he did.
That could have been the dopest record.
So basically what you're saying now at this point is that you're not upset about getting paid. You're not upset about all of that other shit, but you're upset about the fact that he didn't use all of the beats that he gave you for that album. And if he gave them away, and on top of that, you gave them away. I cannot stress this enough. You gave them away. You did not get paid for them. You should have asked for the money first. Give him a couple of snippets and then ask him for the fucking money. And if that's what you did, and he did it like this, well, here's what you do. Take your L. That's as simple as that. Okay? Take your L and basically consider it a loss. Or if there actually is some sort of fucking if there's like some sort of a contract of some sort uh that basically says, hey, I was supposed to get paid compensation for the work that I did, and I never got paid for the compensation. You know, this could be a pretty easy court issue. I'm just saying.
Of your entire catalog.
So basically, it just sounds to me like you're upset about the fact that he didn't use all the fucking beats for that track. But if he still has all those beats, they might just be on retainer, and he might use them for other means.
The Yum Yum Bedlam. If you'd have went with my beats, you would have had the dopest record from your entire catalog. At least the new 6 Joker's cards. But you had to be a punk. You had to big time me. You had to act like your shit don't stink and put yourself on a pedestal. See, I don't play that celebrity bullshit. I've been places, I've done things, I've been on magazine covers, I've been on TV, I've been in movies. It don't mean a lick in the real world. None of that shit. The average Joe, no pun intended, the average person on the street don't even know who the fuck you are. And don't even give a damn.
Okay. I
Yeah,
mean, I
you
feel
got a
that too.
legion of loyal supporters. I was one of them.
He was one of them until he felt like he was held back basically by Joe fucking Bruce. Because Joe Bruce decided not to use every fucking uh, beat that you gave him to make a whole ass album. I mean, sometimes they do that, sometimes they don't. You know, like the like, dude, Shangri-La was all Mike Pete, but Hell's Pit was like a variety of different fucking people. Okay, and then they remixed the shit, and it was all a variety of different fucking people, like for both Shangri-La and Hell's Pit. And you know, sometimes they work with Mike Clark on a whole album. Sometimes Mike Clark just does like a song or two, you know, on an album or something like that. It's not that critical. That's part of the fucking game. Okay, it's like, okay, Yum Yum Bedlam, they fucking did Shaggy the Air, you know, they did both Shaggy the Airhead and Devereaux on almost every fucking track. And right now, the reason why they did that, from an obvious standpoint, they did Shaggy the Airhead and Devereaux because Ouija Mac has put a lot of stock in those two producers, and they are the most poppin' motherfuckers that are producing for the Juggalo Underground. So it's no wonder why Joe would want to put a little bit more shine on them. And you just said about 20 minutes ago that you have a new album out, and it's like the first full studio album that you've been able to put out in the last 15 years. So to Joe Bruce, who the fuck are you when it concerns a producer? Okay, like you did a bunch of fucking beats and gave them to him, but it's like, just like how you said that the average person doesn't know who the fuck Joe Bruce is, the average person also doesn't know who the fuck One Man Kru is. It's the same thing. All right, it's basically the pot calling the kettle black. So which one do you want to be?
I'm still one of them because I'm in that genre, that underground, wicked rap music, and it's a crying shame that you're such a fucking dickhead to people, and that's why everybody left your label.
Damn. Like, damn. Shots fired, son. But yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't say that it's that. It's not entirely that. But once again, it's all Joe Bruce. Joe Bruce does everything at Psychopathic Records. Everything. Everything. Everything.
Because you're a fucking asshole.
Agreed.
So let this be a lesson to you not to be talking shit to the wrong motherfucker, because I will come and see your monkey ass. You told me to suck your dick? You call me a retarded monkey? Motherfucker, I will beat the brakes off your big foreheaded, Down syndrome, Sasquatch, false prophet with a dope addiction having ass. You got a fucking dope addiction? Motherfucker, I'll beat that dope addiction right out of your goddamn ass.
Man, like, you could see how fucking seething this dude is. Because he's, like, just firing on all cinder blocks. I know what I said.
I don't give a fuck who you are or what you got wrong with you. You got heart problems, motherfucker, I got heart problems. I got arrhythmia. I got an electric shock, knocked my heart out of rhythm. I got a heart condition, so I will come and beat the brakes off you and give no fucks about it. Because it ain't about money. It ain't about the money. It's about respect. It's about the principle that you are not a man of your word.
Okay.
I'm an old school guy. I'm a man of my word. I know you're a snake in the grass because you're in the music business. And all the music business, all the entertainment business is full of businessmen who are evil, shifty, greedy, snake in the grass motherfuckers. And I know you're one of them.
Because
But
he
in the
didn't
real
show up.
world, in reality, you can't do that. Especially the real men like me. Motherfuckers that will come and see your ass. I don't know exactly where you live in this neighborhood,
Milford.
but I heard that you live in a gated community. And
Milford.
if I go to your house, you can just call the cops on me. So I came close to your house where you could meet me if you was a man.
God.
And you wanted to fucking settle this shit with me once and for all, I would have settled it for you, but it ain't never gonna be settled. Instead, I'm gonna settle it by being successful to spite you.
See, that should have been your fucking go-to from the jump. Okay? Like, that's the simplest fucking way to do it. Alright? If that's how you feel, then that's how you should fucking deal. Not try to fucking meet up with the motherfucker. Like, dude, we ain't 20 anymore. Okay? Like, what's beating his ass gonna fucking do? Like, I've been saying this for a long time about people who have constantly fucking threatened me or threatened my friends or anything like that. Is beating his ass gonna make you right? Is it gonna make you look better to the fucking people? No, it's the only thing that it's going to do is it's going to create some sort of temporary self gratification. The fact that you beat his ass. Is beating his ass going to get you the masters to your beat back? Is it going to get you the royalties to the fucking beat that you fucking used for Bewitching in order to get it up to a number one spot? And that one song that fucking out of all of the beats that that you gave him, he picked one song and it just so happened to be number one at some point on iTunes. This makes no fucking sense whatsoever to me.
I got a new record
Yep.
coming out
Yep.
on 420.
Yes,
The
you already mentioned
Astronomic
that.
Dr. Chronic.
That I have no words for this except the only thing that pops into my fucking head is this album was named this to be petty towards Violent J to bite off a fucking Astronomicon.
I got all your artists who left you because you was a douchebag to them too.
Petty. That's just petty.
I got Tommy Chong on the intro.
Tommy Chong was never on Psychopathic Records. But I can understand why he's on it. Astronomic Dr. Chronic. Available on 420. There you go. There's your plug, brother.
A legend.
Well, yeah.
In music and film and TV and entertainment.
$10 says that he's gonna start off the fucking intro with "Hey man."
Did a dope skit for me. Juggalos are gonna love my shit just as much as they love your shit, and that's a fact.
Promote,
If they
promote,
give it a
promote.
chance, and it
You gotta promote the fizzuck out of this fucking album if you want it to match the fucking Juggalo shit. And now, because of the video that you did, because of this video, you're gonna have to fucking promote in triplicate.
ain't even about pleasing or catering to the Juggalos. This is my fuck you to you, to show you that I can do you just as dope as you or better.
All right.
Because I am a one-man crew. Anything that you need a whole team of people to do, I can do all by myself. And that's the gimmick. That's the one-man crew gimmick.
Right
I
on.
don't need anybody. I never needed you. I wanted to work with you because I idolized you growing up. But then I grew up, stopped being a mark, and realized all these motherfuckers like you is just false idols. That's what it is. It's called false idols.
That's the problem that you had, was that you idolized these dudes, okay? Now, keeping in mind, of course, that every juggalo goes through this type of shit, where, like, once they become a fucking juggalo, their entire fucking world is consumed by juggalo shit. Everything has to be fucking juggalo, from the clothes that they wear to the way that they talk, the music that they listen to, um, and then it gets out of control where people start fucking bragging about how much shit that they have, how much shit that they know, and that they're more fucking juggalo than other people. But that's beside the point. Okay? Um, Look, as a grown ass man myself who also listens to Insane Clown Posse, I've met my fucking idols before. Alright, so to speak. I don't idolize the fucking shit out of them. I know a lot about juggalo culture and things like that, but it's no longer the entirety of myself. And it seems to me like you worked with these dudes at a pinnacle point in your life where they were still idolized and you didn't see them as human. And that human beings make fucking mistakes. Human beings make fucked up decisions. And that sounds to me like it really caused your fucking juggalo world to just fall the fuck apart. And most people have that happen to them, especially when they meet Violent J and he comes off like a dickhead. It happens all the fucking time. But the way that you fucking projected your anger is just the most asinine and ridiculous of fucking reasons. The principle of this whole situation, and yet it stems from what it sounds like. It literally stems from you giving Violent J a shit ton of fucking beats and expected him to use every single one of them rather than to fucking cherry pick the best one and use just the one. And personally, I think that you should be grateful for the fact that he used just the one, because it's not like that all the time. Not every producer out there is a Mikey Clark. Not every producer is like that. The simplicity of all of this is that you made a shit ton of fucking beats. You should have expected that he might not even, you should have had it in your head, he might not have even selected a single one of them. And if it wasn't about the money, then why are you bitching about not getting paid for it? And so now you want to beat his ass on a principle because you basically gave away your beat for free without getting paid for it. And because you gave it away for free and then turned around and expected compensation for it, and Violent J told you to fuck off because he suspected that you were just giving it to him. That's how I see it. So now it's basically like, okay, now you have a new fire to get back into music to spite him. Well, all I can say about that shit is best of luck to you, homie. And I'm not even I'm not being fucking smart about it. I'm being real. Best of luck to you with that. Because maybe that's what it is that you needed, was for him to be an asshole to you so that way you could jump back in the rap game and do the dopest fucking shit that you possibly could. And I would like to see that happen. You know what? Come down a couple of months, 3 months from now, when your album is released, if you have a video for that, I'm going to react to it. Because I do not want to have to react to this type of shit all the fucking time. However, I will say this, the reason why I reacted to this video in general is because the way that you came across, I can see that it resonated with a few other juggalos. And a lot of juggalos ended up making fun of you for this type of shit. Now, that may or may not be something that upsets you. You may or may not care. I don't know. But I wanted to react to this video specifically for the sole purpose of explaining to you that the way that the way that you did things, it, to me, just based off of your explanation, it sounds like you fucked up. And instead of being upset about the fact that you fucked up, you decided to take your anger and frustrations out on Violent J. Now, this is not me being a fucking mark. This is me just looking at this from a more logical standpoint because you're angry. And when you're angry, you don't think straight. That's not talking about you specifically. I'm talking in a form of a generalization. When people are angry, they're not going to think straight. And you've been upset about this shit you've been holding on to this for over a year. And it got to a point where you ended up sending an email to Violent J to meet him on the corner outside of his fucking house. Even though you think that's where you live and you didn't have actually definitive evidence. All of this is just fucking stupid. And I'm saying that not to diss you. I'm saying this because that's the reality. The reality is that this video literally makes you look fucking foolish. And take that with us what you will.
Idolatry. And it's a sin.
I don't believe in that, so whatever.
I'm not going to be idolizing nobody anymore from this day forward. I don't want nobody to idolize me. Do not worship me. I do not want you to look up to me as some kind of false prophet, as some kind of false idol.
What?
I'm just a man who's very talented
and very
who
angry.
Deserves his piece of the fucking pie. Because I've been doing this shit way too long.
Then why did you give them away before you fucking got paid? Send a snippet. And watermark the fuck out of it.
And I'm about to start making money in the game.
Okay.
I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of this pay-to-play scheme bullshit. All these motherfuckers taking advantage of marks who want to be somebody in the world. I am somebody. I already am somebody. I've been somebody. And I'm going to keep being somebody until I'm dead in the ground. And my artistry will live on forever.
All right.
So, Joe, I wish you the best in your future endeavors.
Now, as a wrestling fan, that's also funny.
This concludes everything. Unless you want to meet me somewhere else, I'll meet you anywhere you want to meet. You just email me, you text me, you got my number, you got my email. Let me know, and I'll show up, and we can squash this like men. But you ain't a man, so you can't do that. You're a punk, you're a bitch, and you're a fucking jabroni. This is One Man Kru signing off. Whoop, whoop.
Okay, so don't you think that the wisest decision that you could possibly make out of this situation, rather than making a fucking 30-minute video of you standing around and walking around Violent J's fucking supposed neighborhood, threatening him and calling him names, it would be a little bit more logical to just fast forward through all of that other shit and get to the end of this fucking video and just basically be like, look, Joe, I feel like that I'm entitled to some compensation about this type of shit. I did this beat. I didn't get paid for it. All that other shit. Settle it like men is a little bit different definition for me than it is for you, because it sounds to me like what you want is you just want to fight this dude. After 24 hours ago, prior to you doing this video, you just did a wrestling match with Tony Atlas, so you might still have a little bit more adrenaline up in you. See, with me, settling it like men would just be to have a sit down and talk with this motherfucker. And if you're not able to do that, there's no reason to fucking try to get angry and try to fight the dude. Yeah, you can be angry. You can be upset about this type of shit. That I understand. Kind of. Given the situation of how you explained it, it really just sounds all muddled. And it sounds like it's all over money. And you're confusing the audience that's watching this video over whether or not you care about the fucking money. I can't stress this enough. If you gave the beat away, is what it sounds like. You gave him a slew of fucking beats, expecting him to use it for the entire album, and he only used one. So you feel like that you should be compensated for the one song that they fucking selected, when you should have gotten paid for the fucking beats in general. Like, yeah, you wanted to be part of the team so badly that you gave the beats away for fucking free. That's on you. What you should have done is you should have stuck to your principles and basically said, I'm going to sell you these, and if you don't buy them, then you don't get them. That should have been the principle that you stuck with: supply and demand. Okay? Give them a little listen over the phone, or a little 30-second, crop of the beat, and send it to him via email or something to that effect. And then when you got the money, because, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, something, through Facebook, whatever. Once you got the money that you wanted for it, you could have discussed prices or anything of that nature to those guys. And then when you got the money for all the fucking beats, then you give them the masters. Instead, you gave them away for free because you wanted to be part of this Juggalo shit. But if you gave it for free so you could be part of this Juggalo shit, then you should be honored at the fact that not only did he select one of the fucking tracks, but it hit number one. That should give you a little bit of a swelling of pride. Maybe it does. But the fact is that you're doing all of this shit because you didn't get paid. Under the false pretense that you were going to get paid after you gave it away. That's not how it works. I'm not even in the fucking rap game, and I understand that that's how it fucking works. Like I said, I work with fucking digital artists. that fucking make merch for me. Okay? And they make designs for my merch. I give them the money, tell them what I want, they give it to me. If they don't give it to me, then basically I'm at a loss, which is not much, but I get paid quite a bit with my actual job. This is the one thing that you're having a hard time figuring out, and instead you want to go to the route of fisticuffs rather than fucking settling this like actual adults and discussing this with them. But now, because you did this, and probably some other shit that you've done and said over the last year or so, well, that's thrown out the fucking water. So at this point, I'm sorry, bro, but you have nobody to blame but yourself in this matter. If Violent J does not come across you, like if he doesn't respond to the email or anything like that, I mean, actually, at this point, you've pretty much just fucked everything up. I'm sorry. You can be angry at me all you want, but that's the reality. That's the truth. Because, dude, as we get older, some of us tend to fucking realize that acting in this manner is a very childish manner. Even somebody like myself who calls themselves Kreyz McKormik can actually calm down and be a little bit more humble. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. I thought when I was in my 20s that I was going to act like a crazy motherfucker forever. I don't. You are still in this mindset from a long time ago. You know what? Let me tell you something. Uh, let me tell you a little story. So there was a guy that was working at the fucking plant that I work at. This motherfucker cared so much about how he looked to other people that his attitude caused him to get fired because he's like 43 years old and he still cares about fucking wearing Timberlands and fucking, like having the fucking prison built body and looking like a thug and all this other shit, constantly getting into arguments with people. He actually threatened a fucking coworker that he was gonna pop his ass. And it's like, bro, we're in our 40s now, and you're still acting like this? Grow the fuck up. And the same thing goes for you, bro. And I don't mean this in any form of disrespect as much as you're probably going to take it, but literally grow the fuck up. Because now, because of the actions that you proceeded to give, not only in this fucking video, but prior to that, sending an email to Violent J to call him out. Dude, it's fucking asinine. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous that you projected yourself in this fucking manner. It's like, dude, we're in our 30s, 40s, and 50s now. So, like, why are you still acting like this? Grow the fuck up. Like, this is ridiculous. And then while you're at it, try to figure out exactly what it is that you were wanting out of these fucking beats. And if there's an L at the end of it, well, then there's an L at the end of it when it concerns giving Jay the fucking beats for free. Personally, if it was me, I would be happy as a motherfucker to have been a part of that business, to be a part of that experience, to have a song out of I don't know how many other producers and have my song fucking pop up at number one. It's just something to think about, bro. Literally sit down and actually calm down and think about it. Rewatch this video that you did and realize that you come off very fucking petty and fucking ridiculous, and As much as you want fucking juggalos to come check this shit out, it's not actually a good look on you. I'm sorry to say that, but that's the reality. That's the real world. And I've spent way too much fucking time on this shit, reiterating the same fucking shit over and over and over again. But that's just how it is. With that being said, thank you to everybody who was watching. Thank you for those that are participating. Yep. Like, rate, share, subscribe, all that shit. All right, I'm out this bitch, y'all. Deuces.